Welcome back. Deck Hockey Focus here, checking in. Eric Mock all by my lonesome here. Ryan, we miss you. Safe travels, buddy. Can't wait to have you back. Same goes for you, everyone with Team USA. But we started the day with the men's game. They squared off against Hong Kong in what was maybe the earliest I've ever been up to watch a ball hockey game in my entire life. But they did not disappoint. They made it worth all the fans that, set the alarms and got up to, watch the live streams there. And we saw nothing but shots at the net in this game. I mean, we look like the team where, maybe this wasn't the most competitive matchup like we're going to be seeing against Canada here tomorrow. But we're the kind of team where if you give us room, we've got the talent. And if you give us the opportunities, we're going to finish them. And I think the boys ended up putting 14 of them in the back of the net. You're going to see here a real nice set play for the one-timer. That's been a theme this weekend, especially on the power play. That offside wing has been highly productive. I want to say there was 59 shots on net in this game from the Americans. So there was definitely no minute to rest for this poor goaltender here. They did put up a great fight, but unfortunately our offense just a little bit too much firepower for the Team Hong Kong there. The gentlemen will be moving on again, like I said, to play against Canada. This was actually their crossover game. So I believe Hong Kong was the #1 team in the B pool. So this is the crossover. This was actually a real big victory for them. But we're going to keep running the highlights here. This might be our longest one that we've had to make so far just because there was so much offensive productivity. I will preface by saying I hope that the boys got the bugs worked out. It certainly looks like the offense has got its wheels under it. Hopefully they get a good night's sleep. And, you're not going to have this kind of space come tomorrow. So definitely ironing out all the kinks, and hopefully the legs aren't too tired since this didn't look like they had to do a whole lot of back checking here today. Like I said, 59 shots on net, little spinorama move there just to add insult to injury. But I would say the boys look like they've got it figured out against Team Hong Kong there as they look to take on Canada in tomorrow morning. I believe that is around 6:15 Eastern time they'll be seeing Canada. So there's the wrap up there against Team Hong Kong. Again, great battle there. Albright putting nothing but points on the board. But then we had game against Canada for the women. This was their first of two. They played them again today. We will cover that here in a minute. You see Canada on the set play here, banging one home. But I thought our girls looked real good on this, maybe despite the outcome. I thought they matched Canada step for step. Unfortunately, their goaltender did lock it down. We didn't get to see our girls put one in, but our speed looked there. It looked like we maybe could have tightened it up just a little bit offensively, clean up the breakouts a little bit, the things you're always working on. So we didn't have any worries about them moving on to today, but this was one of the better matchups I think that we've seen here. You're witnessing the speed there as well. Good corner battles. That's kind of our MO there is, first in the corner, first on the battle, always crash the net. But unfortunately, Canada did come out 2-0 in this game here. And the women, like I said, did see them again today, so they got a little bit of time for rest and relaxation. And we were saying this is maybe the best rivalry in sports, is that North American kind of crossover between us and Canada. It's a friendly rivalry, but this is a team you want to beat, and a team that you love playing, and we'll see in years and years to come. Another big save. Oh, I'm sorry, not a big save here. So that was the one where I believe it hit a post, maybe. That had us kind of guessing as we were watching it as well, just because of the camera angle. You couldn't exactly see what happened there, but Canada certainly thought that they had one, but not doing it as far as puck crossing the line is concerned. I don't know that we saw too many reviews in this game either, which was kind of nice. It was a nice open game. You see Canada making the nice finish there. They do a nice job of opening up space. So I think that was something that we were maybe concerned with going into today. But shots were relatively even, as you see there, 22-23. So I'd say it was a 2-goal deficit maybe is not indicative of how competitive that game was. Obviously, their goaltender playing very strong between the pipes. But then the women obviously can take this and then springboard them into today. So we got done watching that game not too long ago. We did have an opportunity to sit down with Jason Kelly talk to him about the Canada matchup and what's kind of to be expected with that rivalry, as well as kind of just running through what the girls are with on the entire tournament there, so we can maybe overlay some game footage on that. But had a real nice discussion with him, so I want to introduce Jason Kelly.
Hey, thanks for having me, boys.
So looking at, I guess the next matchup here is going to be against Canada, who you guys just saw. And, despite the outcome there, I'd say it looked pretty solid. I think you guys looked well.
Motto of kind of unfinished business. Took that into that Czech game and performed very well. And we're going to use that same mantra tonight with the Canadians. Hardest thing to do in the tournament is beat the same team twice. And we're going to make sure that rule stays steadfast today.
Yeah, absolutely. So despite them, I guess, maybe having our number, I don't know if I want to call it that or not. What do you think was their main focus as to stifling our offense? Was it shutting down that top line, the Stedman-Dobson line?
Yeah, I think that they paid a lot of attention to Becky Dobson. I mean, she scored the game winner against them last year. And again, assuming they're in the same opinion as me that she is the number one player in the world right now. But I think if they continue that tonight, and as the team kind of prepares for them to continue that tonight, it's going to kind of open them up to our other players. I mean, I think that we have the strongest team that we've ever put together. We have a few players that are semi-new to ball hockey that are pro ice players in the NWHL that are coming into their own every game. They're just getting better and better and better, and that's that other line with Stedman, Bronson, and Hutchins. And then our other two lines as well have a mix of veteran and new players that are really just firing on all cylinders. So if they try to just shut down one line tonight, I think our other three lines are just going to kind of tear them apart.
Well, good. We hope. It seems like you guys have been running a lot of teams ragged. Do you think Canada has maybe an extra step speed-wise than some of the other teams that we've seen, or are they more of a banging up in the corners?
Yeah, they're more of a possession team so far from what we've seen, especially compared to the other countries. And I think that's going to kind of hurt them because, our game plan is to kind of run everybody down. The way that we have played it in the past in this tournament so far, and I don't see why we would change, is, we run our four lines through, and we pay attention to short shifts and we get them out there so that we are always moving, constantly moving. And that's a very good offensive strategy, in our mind because, it keeps people back on their heels.
Yeah, it certainly does. But yeah, so speaking of some of the other teams that you guys have played and seen some successes against, we didn't unfortunately get to see the offense break free, despite having a lot of opportunities, I would say, against Canada. But talk everyone through the Czech game, because that was sort of a do or die scenario for the U.S., revolving around how, I guess, the reseeding works after round robin. It's a little bit complicated with the 5-team system there, but looking at that Czech game, what was the storyline there for everyone?
Well, we knew coming into that game that it was a big win for us for this format. Only the top 3 advanced into the round robin that we're in now for the chance to play for gold. So we knew after the Slovakia game that we should have had. We knew that we were just going with the mentality of winning out. But that Czech game was kind of something I think all of the veterans from last event kind of marked on their calendar. As soon as that schedule came out, they knew that was a game that they were really looking forward to because, we had that game against the Czechs in the last event, and it just kind of came to a few unfortunate bounces, and then the overtime goal was something that, was not really a goal that they, put in themselves. Kind of hit a few people on the way in, hit a bar, kind of rolled in off the back of the goaltender. So why, they deserve the credit for winning that game. I felt that game really was ours until just that moment. And I know all the players that were there were talking about it leading up to it. They were very excited for that game. So that was kind of our, unfinished business moment, coming in this event. And then now, after playing Canada last night, they're going to adopt that same mentality tonight. Hardest thing to do to beat a team twice in one tournament. The girls are going to make sure that comes through. And I think that today is going to kind of really show the world that, the U.S. team deserves that number 1 spot.
I absolutely agree. And we've been saying here that it's maybe, maybe the most heated rivalry in sports, that Canadian-American rivalry in hockey. How well does that translate over to the women's team?
It definitely translates very well to the women's team, maybe better than any other of the ball hockey rivalries here, because the girls in this team are always seeing each other. The goaltenders for both teams have been with the program since 2007, and they see each other at the Masters and at the regular senior events. And there's a lot of girls on the team that played together through college. Julia Bronson played overseas with a couple of the girls. A couple of her college players are on Canada from Dartmouth. Same thing with some of our pros. A couple of our girls from the Connecticut Whale. There's a few players there. Even our trainer that we have from Colgate found out that one of the girls from the Czech Republic has committed to go to Colgate this year. So it's a great rivalry, but it's a kind of a friendly rivalry through all the teams, but especially with Canada.
Well, that's fantastic. It's the win that we all want here back in the States for sure. But what's it going to take? What's the key? Is there going to be a breakout star for the United States? Is it going to be between the pipes? Is it going to be an unknown forward, a rookie, a newcomer, or what's going to be the prediction?
Honestly, I think for us, it's going to be a full team effort. It's really the way that we structured the team. What we really kind of keep it to no one part being more important than the other. But I think that, again, we have the number one player in the world, and her line just has a ton of talent on it. Both of the players that are with Becky Dobson, played professional women's hockey. Every line has someone that's played professional in the NWHL. Our goaltender, was a 4-year starter in college. And our other goaltender, Alessandra Glista, has been, the starter for the U.S. program, like I said, for 10 years now. So the skill, the speed, the newcomers, and the veterans that we have really kind of put together for one complete system. And I think that's going to be how we win this game, how we win this tournament, that we use all of our parts. So we don't double shift. We don't overrun somebody. We don't tire somebody out just for one game, because all 22 of our players are absolute studs. They can all do it. And I think that's going to be the key for us.
Well, we've seen it. We've seen you guys running teams ragged. You guys have certainly put on a show, and we hope that you guys continue that against Canada, get a little bit of revenge for the United States. Jason Kelly, General Manager of Team USA Women's. Appreciate you joining us. Best of luck.
Hey, thanks for having us on, boys. Thanks for all you guys are doing, and for all the fans at home rooting us on.
All right, guys, that was Jason Kelly, General Manager of the women's team, as they were this morning, our time anyway, afternoon for those guys out in Slovakia, but they were getting prepared for the rematch against Team Canada, which happened this afternoon. We had a chance to watch that, so we will kind of roll some highlights of that. And honestly, ladies, I got a bone to pick with you. I was so excited for this game, and I don't think you guys brought your A effort there. I don't want to get too negative on you, because I still think that you're the best team in the tournament, so hopefully we see that moving forward. But we saw a couple of small breakdowns defensively. I thought that one there was maybe one that could have been covered. I thought that was a little bit of a sloppy, lucky play on their part. Big save here on the breakaway, but we were letting them, I think, have a little too much space than maybe we had in the past, and they were definitely taking advantage of it. Here is the goal where I believe that went to review. They thought the net was off. I thought that was a good call to consider that a goal as well. I just think for, consistency's sake, that the review has done well for the most part the entire tournament. And that was a case, even though it wasn't in our favor. But here you see in the final minutes here, they tack on another one here, backdoor. I think towards the end of the game, you're down by a little bit of a margin there, so you gotta stretch it out. You gotta take a little more risks. So I think that's where we kind of saw things get a little bit out of hand scoring wise. But ladies, Canada, 6 periods in a row, holding you guys scoreless. So good kudos to them. They're a great team and everything, but I think we definitely left something to be desired there. Maybe we can tighten up the hinges and everything as the women look to move forward. So they have tomorrow a chance to move on. There is still a chance for us to play even for gold. So this is a do or die win here tomorrow. They'll be taking on Slovakia, preceded by the men, who are going to get a shot at that North American title there against Canada, bright and early, 6:15. So tune in there. And then the women had actually seen Slovakia in pool play, whatever you want to call it. They tied them 2-2 going into OT. I thought both teams looked great in OT. That game could have gone either way. Unfortunately, they did fall, only receiving the 1 point for the OT loss, but they'll look to seek some some vengeance, some revenge a little bit on Slovakia moving forward. But ladies, there's still plenty of hope for you. Tighten up the defense maybe a little bit and figure out those breakouts so that you can kind of use the speed. But I think there's still a good chance for you. I still say you're the team to beat. So mark the words here. We'll see everybody tuning in, like I said, 6:15, 8:30, respectively Eastern time. So make sure you guys are cheering them on. We're live tweeting all the games, so make sure you're following us on Twitter. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube as well. We've seen a nice influx there. And then obviously deckhockeyfocus.com has all the links to the live streams. It's got all of our content. That's kind of your home base for everything there. But looking forward, there's still a lot of good chances for Team USA. Appreciate all the support that we've been getting from the ground staff there. I mean, we've got a lot of people working behind the scenes to make our job here in the States a lot easier. So I can't list all your names because there's so many people helping us out, but the EBHL guys helping us out with some of these videos and some of the graphics that you've seen there as well. We do appreciate you guys making our jobs easy because we're trying to keep from getting fired. We all got day jobs, but we're dedicating ourselves as much as we can. We hope you guys do appreciate it, and we will see you tomorrow. USA all the way.